All right, guys. 6 watching, started about a minute ago. Hopefully you guys see the link, and I'm just, this is the first live stream I've done with a phone, all right? And this is Tokyo Station behind me, and it's kind of cool because I've got the earphones on so I can get close, I can get back, and I see Eduardo's here, Tamura's here, a couple guys. All right, now I wasted no time. This is phase 2, and I've got the, what is this called? Yona Ale, and that's exactly what I had last time. So cheers. Thank you for the 13 people who are joining us. MC Lovin says it looks good. So you can hear me, you can see me. Cheers. All right, so now for those of you who don't know, I do intermittent fasting. That means I eat about 1 meal a day. And last live show, when I had those 5 beers, it was on an empty stomach now as well. So this should be fun. Booster says, chug it. Yeah, not going to happen. Not going to happen. I think the link is in the comment section. So if you want to jump on, if you're a trusted guest, then feel free. So in this live stream, all right, this is the phase 2, and in phase 2, so you know what's going on, I'm saying goodbye to the Iconaut, okay, the Iconaut, and taking it to RSC, picking up the Hydronaut, which has the brand new dial on it. And if you haven't seen that video, well, then you wouldn't know that it's a mother of pearl dial. There you are. There you are. And that will be pretty cool. So I'll be giving this to them, picking that up, coming back for phase 3. But anyway, this is phase 2, the drunken phase. All right. And in phase 1, that was back at home. And, you know, that was a sober, sort of a little bit low energy live stream. You know, alcohol always makes things a little bit easier. And let me just check out the guest. I'll see if anybody, okay, it says invited guest. I'm just gonna throw this into the comment section again, just so everybody has it. And all right, so on the train here, I saw what I thought was a day date. It looked like a silver, it would have been platinum or white gold. And it looked like the meteorite dial. Now, I got closer and it wasn't, but it got me thinking about the meteorite dial. And I love the meteorite dial, absolutely love it. And so I was thinking, I'm laughing because the people behind the camera who are inside the restaurant are all kind of looking at me and laughing, and oh, good fun. Daniel Katz, what kind of beer? Great question, Daniel. Thank you for the super chat. This is a Yona beer, and I don't know much about Yona beer, but I'll show it to you right here. And let me get my bill. It just flew away. Hold on. All right, there it is. Hopefully it's not too windy here, but Yona Ale. So where is it? There it is. And this is the large. And they've got extra larges of things as well. And I might have to try that next. All right. So anyway, on to my thought experiment. So I was, and we got a guest here, and I'm gonna let John guest in a second. Oh, we got West P, Ratic. Get those guys on. Add the stream. Wes first. Hey Wes, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Add Bratic as well. Pratik, how are you, Pratik?
Doing well, doing well.
All right, so we'll get to you guys in a minute, but let me and let me see if I can lay out. That's what I need. Oh, this is an experiment here and an experience. There
I've
we
never
go.
heard of
A little
this.
bit better. All right. So anyway, okay. Well, I was thinking about my thought experiment was like, okay, what if I were to create like the perfect Rolex for myself? And we'll talk about that in a minute. But what I thought is, it would be so cool if Rolex had like a custom shop, just like Fender guitars do. You know, you go to Fender, probably you pay a bunch of money to do it, and you can customize things and whatever. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the market would be flooded with all these weird sort of Frankenwatch whatevers, you know, these mix and match whatevers. I hear you, but they would have to do it in a way that the 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 piece would be well documented, pictures of the piece, extensive papers, and look, if you didn't have the papers that accompany it, it would be a Franken piece. But if you did, then it would totally be legit. Now, Rolex is never going to do anything like this, but it would be really cool. And so my whole thing was, I was thinking, what would I go for? Pre-ceramic GMT with a steel, of course, with a meteorite dial. There you go. All right. That would be sort of my dream piece. And it's a shame that they don't put the meteorite dial in steel pieces, but it's just the way it is. Reactions. Wes, I think you're muted. I don't know if did I mute you?
No, I did, just to cut down background.
Good. Yes. Pratik, before we get into things, who the hell are you?
Well, I'm a PhD student
You're a PhD student. Mm-hmm.
at Mississippi State University.
All right.
Wrong Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs.
wrong Bulldogs.
Say that again. What university? Because it's so small, I can't even read it.
Mississippi State University.
Mississippi. Okay. What are you studying?
Biological engineering.
All right. And so how does a sciencey guy like yourself get into watches? Or are you here for the beer?
I wish I could join. It's about 11 over here.
Yeah.
But I got into it because one of the gifts that my parents had given me, of a watch that is, it's a regular Walmart watch, nothing too special, but it was due time for me to get a new watch, and I ended up searching online, found yourself and others, and learning about the horology and all that it deals with, and I found the Seiko is a good safe bet for just to get in. So
yes, absolutely.
So I got
good
into
entry
that.
Level piece for sure.
Yes, I got into that, and yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. Well, in fact, let me just interject here. Ask a few questions. So you haven't pulled the trigger on a really expensive piece. In the future, do you want to get a Rolex?
Yes, I really like the Batman style. So with the Jubilee bracelet, the funding isn't as it's not there yet. So it will be.
Funding. Well, you're a student. Yeah. Now,
but it'll get there soon, hopefully.
You know, as a scientist, I think you're only really allowed to have a Milgauss. You know that, right?
No, don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah,
no,
sorry. Okay. No. But if you know the right people, I think a BLNR could happen, as Marco has shown. He's got one in the mail. Wow. So, and so what do you have right now? What do you wear right now?
This is one of my favorite pieces. Actually, that's why I wore this today.
Right.
Very popular.
Seiko. Is that a Seiko Monster of some sort?
Yes, the first generation. Okay. I like this quite a bit. I do like other colors of it, and this is the first generation, so it doesn't look like doesn't have that teeth looking thing. So, but it's still satisfying.
Yes. So yeah. Well, they're great starter pieces. You know, I started with my Orient Blue Mako, and it pretty much went from there. So everybody needs a starter piece, and so you said BLNR. Now you like the BLNR more than the BLRO?
Yeah, I think it may go well in most situations than the other one. I like to wear my watches for multiple scenarios. So
Me too.
I want to. So I don't want to buy a watch that's too specific. Like I have.
Exactly. Okay.
This is another like daily wear that
Uh-huh.
just a regular G-Shock. You can wear
Right.
this anytime. Maybe not, dinner time, date night, stuff like that. But it works for most cases. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the BLNR would satisfy that. Another one. I don't have one.
Hopefully, is the wind okay, guys? It's not being too windy, is it?
No.
Okay,
No.
excellent. So, yeah, that's the thing about the BLNR. I think it's more wearable because it's not as bright as the Pepsi. I've got my friend Danny, who's a pilot. I guess among pilots or something, they call the Pepsi the clown watch, or maybe that's just like his group of friends. But I totally get it because the pre-ceramic Pepsis with the blue and the red can be a little bit much. That's what I've found myself. So, but if I were to, obviously, if you go into an AD and you see a whatever GMT steel there, you just pick it up. But if I was right there and they said, what do you want, a BLNR or a BLRO? BLRO would be where the money is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd almost feel compelled to get it and get over that color. But I think I'd always long for the BLNR, so I think that's where that's where my heart lies.
Yeah, for now, I'm not thinking of any type of investment. It's just what I like and how much I will be using it.
Well, that's the way to
when
think
I get
about
to
it.
your stage in life, then we'll think about investment scenarios.
Well, I find like investment, and Wes, go ahead and weigh in on this. And I know this does pervade your way of thinking because you got Hulk, and it's at least these days, and it's the investment aspect is really interesting. Okay, it's not like it's not fun to talk about. Speculating, watching the prices go up. I mean, it's very fun, but it does. It changes the wearing experience, the buying experience, all that kind of thing. And Wes has a Hulk, and are you wearing the Hulk these days, Wes? What do you have on your wrist now?
I do wear it, but today is a Tudor day, Austin. That's so I've got the Ranger on right now.
It's funny, you know what kind of hypocrite I am. If somebody brings up a Tudor, they show me a Tudor. In the last live stream, they were talking about Tudor, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to talk about a Tudor. And here I am wearing a Tudor, talking about a Tudor. Such a hypocrite.
This is a total Tudor episode. I was chatting with Marco in the comments before. We were talking about the day dates, and I was shooting them all the ones that I think are really cool. And his thing was, man, why would you spend money on that when you could buy a Rolex? And I was like, it always comes back to that. So I'm wearing that today just for the sake of you picking up your Tudor.
Yeah.
I have been wearing the Hulk quite a bit. It's the Ranger, Heritage Ranger.
Ranger, that's right. Okay, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, and you got it on a strap. Okay, nice.
Yeah, the bracelet it's not that it's a bad bracelet. It just it's not an end link bracelet. It kind of has the gap. It's sort of a pin bracelet. I'm not sure the terminology for it, but I'm just not a super huge fan of that look. So I just wear this on Natos. It's super easy to throw on, and it matches with a lot of different colors. So that's how this watch stays.
Sure,
this was the one that was the gift from the wife. She picked that one out. Mm-hmm. She knew I wanted it, but I remember. She knew that I wanted that, so she didn't she knew that was in the want list. So we'll give her some credit on that. But back to the Hulk. I have been wearing it since we did the last live show and we talked about the videos. And it is fun to talk about, like you said, the value of it and the wearability factor and how that sort of comes into play. It's definitely fun to talk about. It was never really on the table for me to make a move with it. So I just sort of thought, you know what, I'm going to wear this thing. And I wore it for a good 2 weeks straight and didn't take it off and really enjoyed it. And kind of, I've committed to it a little more to wear per se than to just put away. It's never going to go away, so I'm going to wear it. Yeah. So I started wearing it more. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what you should do is I've been thinking about it, okay? And you wear the hell out of it, right? And have it serviced, whatever, but never have it polished, okay?
No.
And then And then if you ever think you want to sell it, then prior to that, the next service, have it polished. It'll have that one polish. Nobody will ever be able to tell us it's been polished. If it's been polished like 1 or 2 times, you can't even tell. Especially, I mean, well, if it's Rolex that does it, right?
Right.
Not to say you should market it as a unpolished piece, but it would just, you don't have to keep it nice. Although in your mind, knowing that it's a unpolished minty piece, that's kind of important, and I understand that.
I sort of got over that after the last, I sort of really thought about it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to wear it. I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere. I'm going to keep that, and it's right here. I've got it handy. So I've been wearing it quite a bit, and may or may not polish it, but I don't think that'll ever happen. Honestly, if I do pass this down, I want it to be as original as possible. So I'm going to wear it and just sort of let it age and do its thing, and that's where we are with it. So,
all right, yeah, sounds good. Well, let me just say one thing about Tudor. It's kind of funny because you preach one thing, right, and then you actually do something completely different. I mean, I've always said like somebody should, a Rolex fanboy should get one Tudor as like a daily wear, or just something like the high-end beater is what I call it. Just one, don't. Otherwise, it starts to taint the collection. But here I am on my 3rd Tudor, and I could justify it because I could say, well, they're different. You got the Hydronaut and then the Iconaut. But then how do I justify the 2nd Hydronaut? That's crazy. So practice what I preach. Practice what I preach, but not what I do. That's it.
I could go crazy in the Tudor lineup. So
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
How's it going?
Good. Have I talked to you before?
No, this is the first time. I've been watching you for a while, and I guess a trip to the Rolex store is as good of a reason as any to chime in.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you wearing at the moment? I hate to say like, what do you have a Rolex? It sounds kind of not everybody's gotten one or whatever, but what are you wearing at the moment, and what do you usually wear? Just let's go into that.
I have about 8 watches, I think. I have 3 Rolexes.
Okay, all right.
My I would say I didn't have a watch growing up or anything like that, like some people, but in about 2009, I remember seeing like the Rolex advertisement with like the Wimbledon dial, and I was like, wow, that's a cool watch. And I remember, I'm 33 now, to give some reference, so I was in college at that point in time, but I remember seeing that poster and thinking, that's a dope watch, I want that. And then I was like shocked to be like, oh my god, that watch is over $10,000. And then I guess about
now let me ask you really quickly. Okay, so
yeah, sure.
Before you continue, let me ask you, because when you first got into Rolex, were you thinking like you were shocked at the fact that it was 10,000? And did you, when you thought, hey, I think I might want to get a Rolex, did you have like a price in your head about like, oh, I'll probably get one for that? Because when I first started developing an interest, before I even thought about prices, I thought $1,000, right? Used piece,
Yes.
$1,000, which is kind of funny. Now, were you thinking like 1,000, like $500?
1,000, a couple thousand,
Yeah.
maybe 2 or 3. I had no idea that it would be that much, and as a 21-ish year old at that time, that wasn't going to be possible.
Well, if you're 33 now, that was over 10 years ago, and so, God, they might have been about 1,000 back then, right?
I wish. And then I ended up buying my first watch in 2017 after that. That was, I got the...
2017. Yes, let's go.
You can finish.
You talk about that here. Well, first of all, this is very important stuff we got to talk about here. We got to choose the beer, okay? Okay, so we'll come back to that, Evan. here comes first on this job. Not really. No, Rolex comes first. But okay, so we got the Kirin Ichiban. Now, I'm interested to see the XL size, right? Because the Yona Ale for a large was 1,000, but I can get an extra large of either Kirin Ichiban or the Kirin Ichiban Kuronama. That's black, or I could do a half and half. And I want to see the big size. I don't know about you guys. Anybody want to see the big size? Yeah,
Yes.
probably. All right. What should I do? Should I do the Kirin Ichiban or the black or half and half?
You can do the Kirin in the United States. So I don't know if I want to see something more exotic.
I was gonna
But I
say
get the half and half. You get to see both.
Okay, sounds good.
Go ahead, Pratik.
I was gonna say if you still haven't if you haven't visited the dealership yet, are you sure you want to go extra large right now? You mentioned on the previous.
That sounds like sober reasoning here. What fun is that? Hey, my wife would approve of that commentary, Pratik. Come on.
Half and half.
Yeah, I guess so.
I get Pratik. It is clear you don't have a Rolex from that statement. I can see you don't have a. When you get a Rolex on your wrist, you're not going to be saying that namby-pamby stuff. But you're up with my wife right now. She'd be agreeing with you completely right now. We can't have that. All right, you're a scientist. I thought, here, put your scientific, reasoning skills to deciding what I should have. I think half and half, right? Because then Evan gets to see the best of both worlds, right?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yes. All right.
I agree.
Let me flag up. Here in Japan, it's interesting because here in Japan, do you know how you get people's attention at restaurants? You yell "sumimasen," which means "excuse me." It's really awkward, really weird, especially weird in a restaurant when you yell "sumimasen" and they don't hear you, but all the other people do, and you yell "sumimasen" again, and they don't hear you, but everybody else does, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And that happens to me all the time. I'm outside, so I can't yell anything, or I can yell everything. Oh, hold on, he looked away. But let me just say, kind of a cool thing about this. Look at this. I can go out here now. You guys can hear me, can't you?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Look, I can interview people with a beer on the corner. A lot of possibilities here. Look at this. I can drink out here. Hello, sir. See? All right. Now we'll flag somebody down in a minute.
Hopefully no one steals your camera when you go to the street.
No, I mean, I thought about when I actually, phase between phase 2 and phase 3 are, that's going to RSC. And I thought about taking the camera and then just setting it out RSC, facing RSC and me going, but I'll be in there for probably 20 minutes and you guys don't want to look at a outside of a store. Although it'd be kind of funny because I'd have these things in here. I'd be able to talk to you through these things, but the camera could be stolen. It'd be kind of weird. So I don't think we'll do that. So what should we talk about? While I'm waiting for somebody to help me.
Austin, you mentioned Evan brought it up, his first sort of sticker shock into Rolex shopping. I think it was probably 2017-ish when I was shopping for an engagement ring, and that's when I sort of thought, hey, I think it's my first time to make a purchase. And not so much the sticker shock, but I think more of the demand and availability shock was what got me than anything else. So.
For engagement rings or Rolex?
Daniel says, gotta go. Be well. Daniel, thank you. Appreciate it. Daniel, thank you.
So I was shopping for a ring, and
there in the States. So,
a buddy of mine he's a friend and owns a jewelry shop, and they are a Rolex dealer as well. And he said, you know what, you should get something for yourself as well to go along with that ring. And I thought that's a really good idea. I think I need a Rolex. And so he sort of said, well, actually, you know, the funny thing is, like, you know, demand's really tough right now. Maybe you should look at Tudor or Grand Seiko or something like that. And I thought, you know, I think I really want to get a Rolex. And that's when I sort of found out, hey, there's nothing available that I really wanted. And so I said, you know, I'm going to shelf this, sort of get into it, find out what, you know, what's really going on. What do I really want? Like, what's the story? I don't want to make a rash purchase. And it, you know, 3 years later, finally got into it. But it was a little bit of sticker shock, but it was more the demand or the availability shock. I didn't know that was a thing in 2017, you know?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be a real shock to people. Yeah. Because when I got into Rolex, all right, it was really weird. I got into Rolex, meaning, you know, I bought a few pieces, but I never actually even went to an authorized dealer because I wasn't into those pieces. They had ceramic pieces. I remember the ceramic, I guess was it the Sea Dweller that was around? It was actually it was the 40 millimeter 116600. And that's the 40 millimeter ceramic Sea Dweller. And I turned my nose up at it because I like a pre-ceramic. And I really do like the aesthetic of that, but it's kind of funny because I probably could have gone into an AD at that time. This was 2014 or so. And I never even went to an AD because I didn't like it. And that's why I started going down the pre-ceramic path. So I feel like I got on it right on the cusp, right on the verge of it, sort of shifting over. But for people in 2021, that's got to be so weird to like go to the website and then you realize that like you can't get these pieces, and then you realize that there's a whole gray market, and you realize that there's a whole group of people that are making money, and that you realize, wow, like I could make money too. I mean, a lot of people walking around behind me that don't know anything about Rolex have no idea that if you walk into a shop and you buy the Rolex, you can make $10,000 in one day on a Daytona. You can make 5,000 on at least 5,000 on a BLRO. You can make a couple thousand on a BLNR. Nobody even realizes that. Sometimes I feel like I mention this to people I know, right? Friends, family, because I'm hoping they'll sort of like think, I'm just gonna sort of peek into a AD every now and then, you know. I really want to stress to them that you can make 1,000 in a day or something. I'm talking like a flipper now, I know, but I think most people don't know that. You know, I think people get into watches and then they find that out. So
it's a very strange world. If you come from a consumer world and you're thinking, well, I can go buy the most expensive car in the world if I want. If I have the money, I can buy anything that I want. Well, yes, you can, but it's not the way you think it is. You're going to grossly overpay for it. And when you do tell people, oh, you can make 10, 15 grand on a watch, and they say, well, why doesn't everybody do that? And I said, aha, well, that's the thing. You go try to do that and tell me how that works out for you. But it was definitely, you're the only one there drinking beer. It's where is everybody? You know, it's probably a little early.
They're working. They're working.
Everybody's
They're working shifts here.
Yeah,
I worked like a motherfucker the past 3 days so I could do this. Right.
It also opens up people's eyes to the amount of wealth in the world too. On how many people, like, you know, I said it kind of opens your eyes to the amount of like wealth some people have in the world that, you know, me as a consumer can have $10,000-$15,000 ready to spend it, and they're like, oh no, you know, we can't take your money. We want the guy who, you know, spends $100,000 a week. We'll give him the watch.
Yeah. I mean,
it's unfortunate.
Is crazy. Well, you know, I don't want to go. Hey, Marco's back. Hey, Marco, how's it going? We just throw him on. Oh, he's probably not on. Maybe he's just watching. Marco, if you just want to watch it, enjoy it, no problem. Cass, I don't know who that is. Everybody gets a chance to be on, but I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far of talking about you know, the situation, because people know what it is, and people maybe perhaps get tired of talking about it. But there was something I wanted to say about it. Yeah. I mean, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
Do you know what? Is it a surprise what dial you're getting? Is it a surprise
are you
what
talking about
dial you're getting for no, that one's mother of pearl.
Oh,
Your
Rick!
Iconaut that you're
Hey, how's it
taking
going?
in.
We got a guest here.
I'm going to talk to you.
All right.
Let me buy up here.
That's great, man. Thank you. Thank you.
I need to talk to
Hey,
you.
say hi. So you want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, I said, hey, choose.
All right. Hey, guys. So I thought this might happen. I thought somebody might show up. And hey, do a wrist shot because that is quite a watch you got.
I have more later. I'm going
Yeah?
to show you.
All right.
After that, I
Okay.
talk to you.
Okay. Awesome. Man.
What you drinking?
Let's see. I think I'll take the right here, the half and half, and then I decided on a XL because they want to see what half and half. I think it's half black, half regular. I think this is the closest thing to Guinness right here. This one, the Kuronama.
It's like I need to pick it up from inside.
No, actually, you don't need to. In fact, we don't need to do that. Yeah. Let's just tell her to come out here if you want to. Okay. Wow. All right. Cool. I thought this would happen. I thought I would either have a guest or I would get robbed. So maybe both. Maybe both.
We got one out of the way.
So who do we have here? We got private chat. What's going on? I got. Okay, Cass is here now.
Hey there, everybody.
All right,
Can you
Cass,
guys hear me?
hello.
Hey guys, I'm Cass. I'm from New York City.
Hi. Hey,
Happy
Cass,
to jump
how are
on
you?
and share with you guys.
All right. Yeah.
What are you guys wearing today?
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I'm 30
Everybody
years
knows what
old.
I'm wearing a Iconaut, and you want to go?
Yeah, I'm a 30-year-old. I work in productions in New York City, so that's been really fun during COVID. And I've been collecting for about 3 years now, so relatively new to the hobby, but you know.
The hobby's
So
Three
never
years.
gonna have
Okay,
you.
so you've been collecting 3 years. The next question is, how many Rolexes do you have? And by that, we're going to gauge how rich is this guy. All right.
There we
Now
go.
Rolex, yeah.
I have one right now. I just sold my Explorer 2 Polar 40 millimeter.
Okay.
That just recently left.
Okay, guys. So Cass is a working stiff, like everybody. I'm just kidding. But no, I don't think anybody needs any more than like one a year. So, but you know, 3 years. People that go down this hobby, they go crazy. Sometimes they'll have like 10 or something. You know, so.
I think it goes either way. In my collection, or what Rolex I have.
What Rolex you have?
Oh, I have the no date sub ceramic 114060. That's the maxi case. Yeah, that's the one.
Maxi case sub. I think this was my. Thank you. The beer is here. A couple of black beers. We didn't get half and half, which is fine. We got the black beer, which is like, I'm not going to drink it yet until the guy that bought it gets back. Look at that. This will make RSC fun.
It's like a boot.
Pratak, are you looking down your nose at me, Pratak? Just kidding.
I'm just jealous.
Am I making a bad decision? Who knows? Tomorrow I might regret it. Pratak might say I should have listened to Pratak. When I go to RSC and I start declaring my love to the ladies behind the desk and trying getting dates from them, I might say I should have listened to Pratak. So, cheers. Come on, right here in front.
I never stalked somebody in my life. Today I was stalking you.
Yeah. Okay. Stalking. Okay. Before we do, come here so we can see. Okay. So now I got these things on, and I don't know if they can hear you or not. Okay. Here, say testing.
Testing.
Do you guys hear them? Yes. Okay. All right. So cheers, man. Thank you for this beer. I appreciate it. All right. All right. So he said this is his first day of stalking, right? And you did well. You did very well. Although I was an easy target. I made it very easy for you.
Yeah, I was watching the video yesterday with my wife.
Yeah.
And because the thing is, I also wanted to start the YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Also.
Excellent. Okay.
So,
He wants to start a YouTube channel, and he's got a wife, which is good because crazy people don't have a wife. By the way, when you kill me, do you have a? Are you gonna use a knife or what do you?
Actually, I'm going to use something else.
Yeah. There's a,
Did you? I told you should.
oh,
You should come to Mexico.
all right. He's gonna paper cut me to death. He gave me a business card. Thank you. Do you want to promote your channel on here? You want to promote this?
I didn't officially start the channel yet, but I just basically this is I have a restaurant. Right?
Okay. Do you want? Can I tell them?
Sure.
Everybody in Japan, if you're hungry, if you've drunk too much, you need sustenance. So that's why Watch Symposium backs and supports Marcelo's Steak and Wine. That's an Israel bistro. This is Marcelo. He's the owner. He's the chef. Makes fantastic food. I can just look at you and tell you make good food.
Thanks. I mean, you should come visit me.
I will. Absolutely.
I'm actually now 10 years with the shop.
It opens at 6 o'clock tonight. So
yeah, right. They're really going to come. Yeah, sure.
Some people might.
Like, yeah.
And he's a watch guy because as you eat your steak, you'll be able to talk about watches with Marcelo, right? You're gonna be in the back, I know, but
there's a
yeah.
And it's pretty much like that's why you should come. It's pretty much like a private club. So
private Rolex club.
I think you should enjoy it.
I should do a live show there.
You should. You should. I think you're going to enjoy it.
That could be awesome. So Marcelo, do you wanna talk about what you're wearing because that's a pretty damn amazing watch.
The meteorite.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, guys.
Later you come to Mego to my shop after you're going to finish.
No problem. Yeah.
And then I'm going to show you more amazing stuff. Not only that. So.
All right, so I'm officially upstaged. I'm rocking the Tudor Iconaut right now, and I'm not going to be talking about that anymore because look at what he's wearing right here. We were just talking about something like this. Yeah.
If you can see it.
There's the camera there.
White gold, nice.
Very, very solid. The meteorite, white gold.
They're saying very, very solid meteorite gold. They like your hand.
And the Smurf I bought it in 2017.
You got the Smurf?
I had the Smurf in 2017.
That's a great watch to have.
This is like the work watch. I'm actually doing the grill with this watch and working with this watch. It's like,
that's awesome. All right.
And the funny part is, I later I'm going to explain on my watch collection how we actually started.
Later, are we hanging out all day or something? What's going on?
After you come to my shop and we're going to have a drink and then I'm going to show you some stuff. So
kidnap. You guys will never see me again. So wow. So he grills with the Smurf. Now, can I say something about the Smurf that's kind of interesting? Okay, so the Smurf was discontinued.
It was.
And I actually knew that it was going to be discontinued probably about 48 hours before it was discontinued. Okay. Yeah, I can't tell you how I knew that, but I knew it. And so
Goldberg.
I, of course, what's that? Well, the thing is, so I thought, well, should I pick one up, right? Should I clean out the savings and pick up the Smurf? Should I come home and say to my wife, the savings gone, but that's okay. We got a Smurf, and tomorrow it's discontinued. Should I have done that? Well, I didn't do that. But have you seen the prices on the Smurf these days? What are they doing?
I mean, usually you're checking in Chrono 24, so you get the estimation because they go from how we say 6 million yen to 4 million yen.
Right.
Between $50,000 to $40,000, and you can get a pretty much idea where you're standing. And, don't forget that my watch is basically already full scratches and all that. So I think, I think it's a little bit more than I paid for.
Probably, yeah. If you bought it in 2000, you said OAD.
2017.
What does that mean? OAD.
OAD?
Yeah. Oh, you got it at AD.
I got it from AD in 2017.
Okay, here in Japan.
Yes.
Oh, we got a guy with a relationship with an AD. Uh-oh.
Don't mention that, please.
Okay, sorry. You guys didn't hear that. Don't mention that.
Don't mention that.
By the way, my new buddy here. My new buddy. Relationship with AD, totally not related to that. My new
We've
buddy.
been sold out.
I'm just kidding. So, what's that?
I said we've been sold out.
Anyway, so say that again. Say it one more time.
No, I just said we've been sold out.
Sold out. Well, yeah. So let me ask you about that, because are you in frame here? Come here a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, they
Okay.
don't want to disturb you.
Yeah. No, it's fine. And you're from Israel then?
I'm Israeli.
Yeah, and I think Europeans stand closer than Americans.
Like,
So we're okay.
crazy plan is like I'm Israeli.
Uh-huh.
I got divorced when I was a kid. So my father to Montreal to
Uh-huh.
Canada, and now they moved into Miami, Israel. So it's like a mishmash. You're not Jewish.
So the Rolex is a result of coming from a broken home.
Well,
I come from a
I come from a broken home. So
I
my
come in-
father actually
I come from a broken home as well. I'm a Rolex guy, so I hear you.
my father was pretty much my only other uncles. They were like Rolex guys.
Really? Okay, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I remember when I was like 12 years old. Then maybe I'm going to do a video going to talk about the
Uh-huh.
stories of my uncle with this force. Submariner that he brought, like that was insane.
All right.
I think it was in '85 or something. That was insane to
Wow.
see that.
Marcelo has, we don't know what he has in his collection, but we know just two pieces. He's got the Smurf, and he's got it's called what do you call it, the Superman? Or is that the nickname you give to it, or what?
You can call it Superman. Some people call it the French flag, right?
The
Because
French flag.
you have
All right.
the colors of the.
Uh-huh.
I think it's more like maybe Superman, maybe.
Okay. I'm sure. Why not? I think all those sort of
Meteorite.
they're so crazy. Yeah, it should have something. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's the meteorite. I get it. Okay. I thought it was the colors, but it's also the meteorite. Oh,
So
I just understand it now. I understand it. Hey, Superman came in a meteorite. Oh,
Yeah, and
I just thought it was the colors. I get it now.
Look at
All right. I'm touching it, guys. I'm touching it. Jeez, it's awesome. I was actually just talking about.
Told me don't take it out of the hand.
I was just talking about the meteorite dial actually before you got here, because I thought. No, I thought I saw a meteorite dial on the train, and it just got me thinking, because if I were to design a Rolex, for me, just a custom Rolex, it would have a meteorite. Man, this is the coolest watch I've ever seen. You know, I'm not a gold guy, but I mean, forget the fact that this is.
Look, it's nice to see it in person.
It's beautiful.
And,
The proportions are perfect. I mean,
How do you guys feel about the new stainless steel being on an oyster bracelet?
Pretty much true. Everybody,
1 second.
it's like everybody knows Rolex,
Uh-huh.
but not everybody knows like normal people, not freaks like us. They don't know. Not everybody knows the models, right?
Guys, let me just ask one question.
Yeah.
It's a little bit backlit here. Can you guys see this enough? Maybe this is a little bit better.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yes, I love the actually.
The thing is different than the steel.
Is it the
little
feeling?
bit, and also when I'm going to give you the Smurf to touch, you're going to see the feeling of manipulated. You feel a little bit different.
Space. I'm holding space in my hand.
And a lot of complaints about the new GT.
Yeah.
You hear the water. You don't hear the water.
Well, does this have the new?
Of course, and
Yeah.
everybody says,
When did you get this? When did you get this?
6 months ago.
So let me just tell them. Okay, so one of the things I like about the pre-ceramic is it's got the 120 click bezel, which is very useful. But I got to say, and I know why Rolex did that is because they're trying to, and when I say, yeah, you can have a seat if you want. Please be comfortable. I have to stand up because I'm
Sure.
performing here. But what I was saying is that it makes more sense that it's a 24 click bezel. And let me tell you, the action on it is just, it's so smooth, so good. It just pop, it just, no, pop is not the right word for it. It just sinks into place. It reminds me of if you've ever closed the door of a Mercedes, the way it just.
It doesn't have,
But I'm talking about the clicks.
Yeah, it almost don't have clicks, right?
No,
both sides.
It raises and just seats in there perfectly. It's beautiful, and I would totally live with it. I mean, meaning I have no problem with the fact that this doesn't have a 120 click bezel, even though it doesn't make it as usable as like the 5-digit in the sense of marking time or using it like a sub bezel. But
did you have a chance to touch the steel version of this watch?
Yeah, I have.
So do you feel a little bit different between?
I mean, I think side by side I'd understand, but there's another thing that I wanted to say, and that's that. Oh yeah, now there's some time zones, like very few time zones, but there's some that are not 24, like the half hour. And so that's the problem here. That's weird, and that's why I think it's in India. I think in India where it's not actually 24 hours. So let me give it back to you. It is absolutely beautiful, and I've got
shake it. You don't hear nothing. You know, because I heard that the steel version you feel a shaking or something. Here I don't feel that.
No.
Right?
Here, hold on.
Now you can even go a little bit more wild. Don't be scared. You can shake it. You're not going to hear
I don't.
nothing. You don't feel.
And wait, but this is the 3-2 movement.
Yeah. And everybody complained about the 3-2 to be noisy like a cheap watch, and I don't hear nothing.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. No, I don't hear anything. Absolutely nothing.
And I got also the Starbucks.
The what?
The new sub with the green, the steel one.
Mm-hmm.
And also you shake it and you don't hear nothing. So I don't know why people actually say that they are noisy in the rotor. But I don't hear the rotor. Maybe I got deaf or something.
So this is an interesting thing. Now he has his GMT hands. So the same. You don't even use that. You just have it set to the local time here. You don't want to make it a GMT time. The GMT hand GMT time.
I don't know. Maybe later when we go to my shop, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
To see how I
beautiful.
Just found very useful.
Wow. It feels.
You're gonna get kidnapped, bro.
Heavy. I mean, this is
220
grams. I gotta say, it's covered in my sweat now because I'm sweating. I'm like holding on the idea of dropping it here. Why don't you take it back so I can?
When
beautiful watch. That's an awesome watch.
When you wear this as a normal watch, especially with the Smurf that is already like 4 years as a normal watch, you scratch it, you hit it. Then I go to do something funny. I have like
let me just check real quick. Could you guys hear him?
You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I got the Seiko, I think the blue die. And I think I have also, I'm talking about the G-Shock, remember the G-Shock, the old metal one? These watches, I keep them mint. I touch them. It's like I'm afraid to touch them. And I scratch the it's like
why?
Well, when the automatic thing that jumps in your head is like, Rolex, they have parents. You have a father and mother to take care of them. When you have, let's say,
meaning RSC.
Yeah, or basically, you have somebody that if this watch, like you said, it drop down, it break, you have somebody to take care of.
I got what is this called? Super chats. Okay. Awesome stream, Austin. Nice to see some new faces from the awesome community where in kind regards Mr. GMT. Thank you, Super Steel 75. Appreciate that. And yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna go back to what you were talking about, but you're gonna get a channel, right? You're gonna start a channel.
I'm going to, we are going to talk to you about this something. Also, you talk Japanese, right? Also.
much.
Yeah, so you can also talk to my wife. It's something that we're working out. Maybe before the end of this year, or maybe beginning of next year, because it's something that we need to figure out a little bit before what we're doing.
The birth of a relationship. You're seeing it live here. Where will our
Very
channels
natural.
go intertwine? Will yeah, who knows? But
and man, you always can come. You know, I mean, I usually open the restaurant. Now I don't open it till after this shit that's going on. Normally I open the restaurant only evening. So if you want to come daytime and also maybe review my watches, you can have more watches to make videos for yourself.
Cool.
You know,
Yeah.
so you can use it.
I love it, but I want you to start a channel so that
I'm going to. Don't worry.
you really should, because you know, I think it would be awesome. Let's see. So Toyota Mo writes, "Have a shot on me, big boy." Man, I'm having a shot. Look at this. This is a shot to the head. This is a cheers. This is a we'll get there, Toyota Mo. Truly Toyota Mo. Truly, if you guys wanted me to do like a liquor shot, I could do it for $10 because again, I gotta go to RSC today, right? I gotta go. I can't go too drunk, right? So you watch my channel, then I take it, right? Now, what do you like about? Let me bask in. No, but what do you like about? Like, you don't come there for the Iconaut stuff, right?
Well, you have a perspective of, you know, I mean, also I probably going to have a different perspective. Every watch channel have his own perspective of the thing. For example, you don't like the RMs, right? Like the
Richard Mille?
I actually do like them.
Okay. Should I ask him if he has a Richard Mille?
No, I don't.
Not yet?
No.
All right.
Very, very cool way of money. I wish I had Richard Mille. If you guys listen, and you guys want to donate a Richard Mille for me, please go.
Hey, you don't need to have Richard Mille. You're doing okay. You're gonna donate. They're gonna donate to somebody. I'm wearing an Iconaut. I'm like
Austin,
I'm like
ask
a
him if
pauper next to this guy.
ask him if he
Wait
has a
1 second.
Panerai. Ask him if he owns a Panerai.
Okay,
He looks like the type of guy too.
I have the 423.
423 Panerai. Just one Panerai?
So far one Panerai.
Okay.
The 423 I like it because you probably hate that watch. It's bulky, it's big, it's huge.
Glass house, man. Glass house.
The whole thing is a monster, and and you know what? I'm working with this, you know, and I'm working with more,
nice.
and this things that you're thinking, yeah, this is the show off watch. Nothing. The only watch that actually push attention is actually my PAM.
Really?
PAM is like, I actually have a very VIP customer in my. He's a good friend. I was wearing this. I was wearing this Smurf. I was wearing the. You know, you're going to say I have also nice pieces. Once I came to his house in dinner with my Panerai, it's like, yeah, this is an awesome watch. Yeah, this is
interesting.
So I was like, yeah, okay.
It might, okay. I mean, in a way, I kind of understand that because those watches are more accessible to people. You know what I mean? And so that watch is not. And so I think a lot of people just, it's like an ignorance thing. I think they might
Look,
just.
The guy's a millionaire. The guy can buy this like you're buying donuts.
Yeah, but he might not be.
Not
Well,
like,
I can't explain that. But yeah, that's interesting. Let me just say one thing about that. Sometimes people will say, go off on a little tangent here. They'll say, "Oh, I got a lot of compliments on my watch. You know, this watch has a lot of compliments." Let me tell you, my feelings on this is that means nothing. It's like because look, oftentimes, if I want to see a watch on somebody's wrist, what am I going to do? Hey, can you see your watch? No, I go, hey man, that's a really cool watch. I mean, the funny thing is, it's usually a fake Rolex, right? And I want to get a closer look. How do I get a closer look? I say, well, that's a really cool watch. Can I check it out? And so my whole point in that is that some people will say, I get a lot of compliments on the watch. That means nothing. It just means people want to get closer to your watch. They want to look at it. It's just they're blowing smoke up the rear end so they can get close to it.
We say probably we are all against the fake.
Uh-huh.
You know, if I guess if I admire a watch, let's say I love this Superman one, and I cannot afford it, and it's a fake, right? I mean, of course, you can tell when you're already holding the watch. Also, by the way, but let's say you never touch this watch. This is a fake watch. I mean, if this the impression that you want to give, you want to hang out, you want to feel like you're wearing a Rolex, and you want everybody to know you're wearing this Rolex, and and I'm wearing the Superman, and it's okay, and okay. I mean, if this is your kind of, you understand, like your world vision, and you think, okay, fine, I mean, whatever you want to achieve depends if you're buying a watch for yourself or you're buying a watch just to impress somebody. I mean,
it's a real balance, and sometimes I don't even know where it fits myself. I mean, and especially, let me tell you, if you have a YouTube channel, then you know that every purchase is going to be, it's going to become a social thing, right? And so that definitely influences you. And I don't know where I draw the line. I mean, I'd like to say like I'm an island of a man, and I like what I like, and everybody, but that's just not true. It's just not true. So I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point.
Look, I think today I can say the restaurant business is not doing well. Maybe that's why I want to go to YouTube. But when now I can say that I actually have 4 Rolex with me.
4?
I have 4 Rolex.
Okay.
And all of them, how you can say, they worth more than I paid for. And they're pretty much a good way of saving money.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, absolutely.
And you have a lot of channels and people that say, "Oh, what should I buy?" What is worth? How we say, what is the best watch for the value? And something that I was talking to my wife also today is like, what do you mean? What is the best watch for the value? Should I buy a Seiko that costs $1,000 because this is the best watch for the value? Maybe that Seiko is better than a Rolex. Yeah, maybe, but that Seiko going to lose value.
Yeah,
the Rolex
right.
Not. So I'm going to put it in a stretch position. If you pay 10 grand for a Rolex and you stretch out, then maybe this is quite a lot of money for you. And you bought it. And instead of maybe buying an Omega for 5 grand or buying, I don't know, a Longines for 2 grand, you buy that. You get, something happened. You can sell it. Sure, you can sell it maybe for the same money, if not more, than the money that you pay for. And this is, I call it good value for money.
Absolutely.
If you buy I didn't have 10 grand to buy a Longines because I have 10 grand, but it's very, very straight out. Rolex. It's very, very straight out. I'm going to buy a Longines for 2 grand, or I'm going to buy a Seiko for a grand. Basically, when you're getting now in a trouble, you screw. This watch is valued nothing.
Yeah.
So Austin, he's ready for YouTube. He's ready.
He's ready for YouTube. So who said that? Evan?
That was me. That was Wes. You're ready for YouTube, man. He's ready. Save it for the YouTube. This is a video.
You're ready for YouTube. You're ready for YouTube.
Sure.
You are ready for YouTube. All right. I've birthed another guru.
Look, sorry,
here.
Guys, I cannot
from my loins, from my drunken loins. I've birthed another.
I kind of want him to keep going.
Keep going, he says. Yeah, no, he's absolutely right. I mean, because I think value is like there's 2 ways to look at value, right? There's sort of the my wife / Pratek way of looking at value. I'm giving Pratek a hard time. I'm just giving a hard time. But my wife would be like, okay, now good value is like the less you spend, better. Like, $10, right? Or
well, that was my wife. I think she's starting to see what happened in the secondary market, and now she tell me you don't buy nothing besides Rolex.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is that
she completely flipped.
What I'm saying is that value is like it can be conceptualized as like what you get for your money. Meaning, I get $10 and I get a chronograph and a world time and a light on my watch and and an alarm, and I'm talking about a Casio here, right? For $10, right? So you might say that's value. What value is this? It's only got two functions. No, it's got two functions. It's got the time. It's got the time and the date and a GMT function. So that's less value. And so there's that way of conceptualizing value.
But let's put it in one more thing. We're talking gold. 18 karat gold. It's not 100. It's not like 99.9% gold. It's only 70% gold. So if you're talking about this watch as gold value by itself,
yeah, but that doesn't mean anything because
you're losing a lot.
Right.
And don't forget, it's also white gold. You're even losing more than that because it's,
right. Yeah. Unless you're planning to melt it down, then ridiculous. And of course, you'd never melt down a Rolex because a Rolex is going to.
Actually, you do. Back in the 60s.
Back in the 60s, you would. But these days, if you think I'm going to get gold out of this Rolex, it's better that gold in the form of a Rolex for sure.
Just because
right.
There was no value on the gold.
And then, while I get away from throwing Pratek and my wife under the bus, I look at another perspective, and that's the fact that value is you put money in, you get money out, and I think that's what you're talking about, and that's, I think most people, it's sort of almost like you come to realize that that's the whole thing about Rolex. You put the money in, you wait a few years, and you can get the money out. Now, of course,
look, we're not talking about an investment point as like hey, treat Rolex like a Bitcoin. Are you going to buy it? You're going to be a millionaire 10 years later. No, but I mean, to treat yourself with something that something that have a value that you want to treat yourself with, and when you buy it, it's not like, oh shit, what I did. Oh God, what I did.
You can get out of it,
and then you can get out of it,
especially in a couple of years.
Without feeling that, ah shit, what I did. Like it's easy. It's exactly. You're comfortable. Look, I can buy. You remember that Breitlings for 50 grand when they did Breitlings, the 44 miles, the all full gold.
I don't remember.
They had these models about 10 years ago. It was like 50 grand. Yeah. Whoever brought this watch, I want to see him. I want to see him today.
50 grand, and then what is it going for these days?
I don't know. It probably go like 20 or 30.
Okay.
This part is a good example. Oh, you know what? Any watch you can go. I don't know. I mean, who else did the good watches? Cartier also. You're going to see the price dropping down. It was a guy talking about that. I think yesterday. He was talking Breguet.
Okay. Breguet, yeah.
Like, it's amazing value for the money because 100 grand Breguet, you can buy it for 50.
Yeah.
This is amazing. No, it's not, because you're buying a shitter.
Now, what's interesting though is a lot of those. If you love those brands, you might say, well, hold on a minute. All that comes from Rolex games. All of that value retention you're talking about, it's not true. It just comes from the company screwing with you. And let me just say, I don't know if they can't make the pieces or if they're deliberately holding back. I truly don't know. Okay?
I think they do. And I'm going to give
you think they're holding back?
And I'm going to tell you why.
Well, they're definitely, let me just say that they're definitely holding back in the sense that they could lower the production of two-tone models, which we don't like as much, and that they could up the production of the steel models, and they don't do that.
No, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
You probably saw the new releases of the new watches, and you saw also IWC. Suddenly now there is a premium on that specific model of IWC. The price starting to go up. You have premiums on Omega Snoopy. They're starting to go up. So and you see they don't release the watches easy. Now you're starting to see some companies starting to study from how we say Rolex and basically what happened with Rolex and Patek lately. They're starting to learn the patent, and a funny fact.
You said they're starting to learn the pattern.
The pattern of how to increase the value on pieces. Let's say make it pieces difficult to get.
Yes.
The same with Rolex.
Yeah.
Now.
That's the game. That's the game.
Yeah, the game. Now let's go back a few years back, and you're going to laugh when I'm going to mention this. Take for example the Timex that you bought. Remember?
Yes, the Timex Q. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So that Timex
I was thinking the Timex Q actually.
That Timex Q. We're talking about
Yeah.
They were selling in Corner 24 in eBay for $300, $500.
Exactly.
Then what they did, they saw, oh, it's amazing. We can make a lot of money. They started to pump the watches.
Yep.
And then, of course, the value dropped down.
Exactly.
What happened is a joke that I was telling my wife today. I told her, you know what? I believe, and it's going to sound very bad what I'm going to say, but bear with me 1 second. What happened if all the companies starting to see what happened with Rolex and Patek, and also AT and Richard Mille and so on, and then they're going to say, you know, we're going to create a new Timex release, or let's say a new swatch release that is going to be limited and nobody can get it. And then I'm going to tell you, hey, Austin, I am a VIP customer in Swatch. You know, I can get the only, you know, that Swatch. And then you're going to tell me, yeah, to be VIP in Swatch, you need to buy 100 shitty Swatch to get that Swatch. And that Swatch go, let's say, crazy in value because it's a Swatch. So it costs, let's say, I don't know, $200, but they sell it for $1,000. I believe that in the next 5 years, you're going to see crazy things like that with most of the brands. And I also think that people are going to see that as maybe good investments, and I think this is going to be a bubble that's going to explode. Because you know, think about it in a different way. Think about it in Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin got crazy, right? I mean, few years ago, you could buy a Bitcoin for $1,000. Then they jumped to $5 grand. Then some people say, it's too much. And then now it then jumped to 10 grand. Then now it's like 50 grand. And then some people can say, you know, if you're watching 2 different channels about the cryptocurrency, these other cryptocurrencies that also starting to climb up in value. And, you know, when you think about this whole scenario thing, I think, man, you know, I mean, I think things are wrong. Think about it like this, you know, I mean, you see what's going with the cryptocurrencies. You see what's going on with now with watches. You know, we don't even talk about the new 5711 that we are like, is out of range. It's like crazy. Think about it like this, man. It's ridiculous. So, you know, I think, look, we all saying that this is good times for the hobby, for the watch hobby. I mean,
well, it is a good time.
Look, we are watch enthusiasts, we are watch collectors, great. But I do see a lot of not watch collectors and a lot of kind of investors. Starting to go into watches. You know, I heard about groups. You know, there is already like groups that say, you know, let's buy a 5711, like 10 people buying the thing, and we keep it for 10 years.
I'm just gonna turn over the earphones. He's got Watch Symposium. He's taken over. I'm going home to my wife. You pick up the Iconaut. It's all yours, man. I quit. I can't compete.
We gotta rename the channel.
No, you got to rename the channel. Absolutely. So, okay, no, he's got a lot of good points there. Now here's the thing.
Also similar to Richard Mille.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. He's got a great point, but they tried that, and Omega has tried that, and that's called the limited editions. But see,
Omega tried that.
They tried it. You're
talking about Omega. Talk about Seiko that every week they release
exactly. But see, here's the thing. They pretended. You know, it's kind of like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do, like, here it goes, and they feign it, and it's what's the word for it? Yeah, I am frozen, I guess, but they pretend, and it's sort of it's fake. It's like, it's not real. Like, for example, they say, hey, we're coming out with, it's like Breitling. Okay, Breitling came out with Rainbow, right? The Rainbow, and they go, it's going to be 50 pieces, sold out. And then they're like, okay, well, now we'll just do it again, but this time with the blue dial. So they knuckle. So they knuckle. They can't resist. They can't resist.
Look,
hold on a minute. They can't resist getting more profit. See, here's the thing. Rolex can resist. Rolex, when they stop. I mean, it's not like they're not trying to manipulate it. They're saying we're stopping, and it's like the Hulk. I mean, like they stopped. Now, if this was any other company, you know what they do? They'd wait a little while, and not enough time. They wouldn't wait enough time to where the Hulk was forgotten about, but they would wait about now. Okay, about now. It's about a year later. People still remember the Hulk. They haven't completely forgotten the Hulk, and then they would release it again in some slightly different way because, you know, and then they'd do it in a limited edition. But Rolex, they stick to their guns. It's like the Hulk is done, and it will be done for decades probably.
They do, but they also don't forget even so they are a charity company, they do want to make money. So so you see, you know, everybody was talking.
Yeah, but see, hold on. They do want to make money, but I'm not totally convinced that they have the capabilities to pump them out. I really think that's a part of it, that people they think that, you know, Rolex could put all the subs in the shops that need to be. They can't. Okay, I'm pretty damn certain that they cannot do that. Could they reallocate manpower from two-tones into the sub? Yes, but they're not going to do that. They're never going to do that. They make a set number a year. I mean, they make, you know, a certain number. And again, people, it's a million pieces. If half of those are, you know, women's pieces, that's 500,000. If, you know, you can do that. You can keep dividing it up, and you realize that
Rolex is very smart when you think about it, because first of all, they created, I'm going to call it this fantasy of being a charity. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They took a very good advantage of how they switched their system to become a charity. It's probably the only company I know with a charity.
JJ LeCoute, I gotta read a super chat, and I had just figured out how to get on it. So JJ LeCoute, thank you, JJ, for tuning in. I love you, JJ. He was on my last live stream. Great guy. Glad to see you live streaming, Austin. Rolex, please. I don't know. Sorry. Rolex. I got it for you. Here, show him that. I brought in the big guns. This is the heavy. I brought him in. Right. I don't do the dirty. He does the dirty work when I need a good wrist flash. So let me ask the guys that are on the stream, Wes or my wife Pratek or Evan. Pratek, I love you, man. Come on, just having a laugh. You know, that's what you get for being sensible with me. Any reactions? Anything you want to say?
I do agree with the bubble that you mentioned about like the blowing up and making limited editions. Kind of what RM does. That you have to be such a high profile person to even get those watches.
Wait one second.
And as for Rolex,
you were saying you do agree with the bubble?
Yeah,
the bubble. Yeah, but see. Okay, now here's the thing. He's asking me if I want another beer, okay? And I need for some guidance from my panel here. Now I know what Pratek is going to say. He's going to say, go home to your wife. Go home to your wife. I quote the girl that I talked to in the bar in about 2016. You know, I was married. She said, go home to your wife. She said, go home to your wife. This is the most offensive thing that's ever said to me in my life. Go home to your wife.
Well, this is
Pratek.
This is nice, but usually he's not going to tell you. But when you marry a Japanese, she actually kicks you out of the house.
Exactly.
Okay?
So
it's a different scenario from what
and that's why it was so offensive, because this woman should have known that. And, you know, I guess I needed to stay at her place that night. But she's like, go home to your wife. And I'm like, I can't. I've been talking to you for like 20 minutes. I did a lot of time investment. I thought I was sleeping at your place tonight. So anyway, so here's the panel, please.
It's midnight here, man. You got to go get the watch.
We can't.
You're the boss.
Here, he tried to do the same side. We can't do that. Let's do. Here, let me ask the punchers real quick. Okay. Let me just ask you guys. What do you think I should? What should we do here? Should we
I
do
wanted to see
half and half?
I wanted to see the half and half before. I'm disappointed that it didn't
Okay.
happen. So let's do that.
Half and half. Let's do the other sides. Yes. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right. All right. There we go. So the whole plan was 2 drinks, RSC, back 2 drinks. I promised my wife this morning. I said, "You watch it." She's watching right now. She's probably watching right now.
She should talk to my wife.
Yes, I know.
You know,
Maybe
Austin.
Maybe I could find a place to stay at RSC. Maybe one of the women there will let me crash there tonight. All right. Yes, Wes, please. Let me translate because I know you can't hear.
Well, I think, you know, he's on to it where I believe we don't really know what Rolex is doing. No one knows. You can quote a million pieces, but nobody really knows. But they're in a position now with the demand that they have to be very calculated. And in manufacturing, there's some lead time to it. So they're probably planned out for quite a while now on what they're going to produce. So I can't speak to how agile they are, but I think they're probably planned out for a while, and they're very calculated, and they know what they're going to do for the next release, probably next year, and maybe even 2 or 3 years out. I mean, I was in an apparel manufacturing company, and we knew what we were going to do 3 years out. So it's, you know, they know exactly what they're going to do. They're stringing it along. It's just a nice little carrot. They just throw a little bit of bait out there for us to not, you know, they're not going to throw us a ton of things at once. They know better than that. They're going to string us along. So, and the demand's going to stay just the way it is. Production's not going to increase. They can't do that. So
it's like a template. Yeah, they have a template down from previous releases that will work future releases.
If you expect dramatic changes and for them to just all of a sudden do exactly what we want them to do, it's not going to happen. You can keep dreaming. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, put it this way. I split the difference. Okay, I don't think they're screwing with us and manipulating us as much as people think.
I don't say that at all. I don't think that's the thing. I think they have a plan, and they've got to stick to that, and they're going to market to that. So they're not pandering at all. They just have a plan, but they know that they can just slowly release things that we want.
No. Here's the thing, Wes. I don't think they think they. Okay, actually, I'm going to probably go against what I just said. That because look, I think there's a little bit of sort of holding back, but the thing is, they've got a catalog, right? They've got a catalog. They got 1 million pieces a year. They divvy it up. I mean, it's like 100,000 there, 50,000 there. It's like it's just now. Of course, any other company would say, look, we gotta like go down out of 1 million pieces. We gotta go down to like, 50,000 for the 2 tones, 50,000 for the females pieces. We need to make 200,000 GMTs, 500,000 Daytonas. But see, they can't do that. I mean, think of what would the catalog become? It just wouldn't make any sense.
Let me say something. I think we all, basically we don't know what Rolex is doing, of course, but we all can guess a little bit the pattern. And bear with me 1 second. You guys might understand where I'm going. You guys remember?
You got 60 seconds.
Yeah. You guys remember the 5711, and when it used to be, I think was 25 grand, right? Like 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was like 25 grand. Mm-hmm. Then the price, in the secondary market was the same, and then they started to jump to 50 grand, 60 grand. What Patek did? They took the same damn watch, and they pumped the price from retail of 25 grand to 35 grand. Everybody was, this is outrageous.
Yes.
And then the prices jump in the secondary market to 60 grand, and now basically now I don't even want to say, I think it's like 160, 100. So basically, by the way, in the new 5711, I think started on 40 grand. I think because I didn't follow the price. I think it's like 40 or 40 something in retail. And I mean, I believe now you're going to understand. Let's say, I think how much is the Daytona Panda dial? I think it's 13 something, right?
They're about $30,000.
Yeah. Now they selling for, I think
No, it's 13.
13,
13,000 retails, and about 30.
About 30, actually 35. Now the price jump. And
Jesus.
And some people say that let's go to the Daytona Platinum. Okay, the Platinum Daytona used to be around the retail was, I think, 75,000, and gray market was 85,000. Then when it was a rumor of discontinue, the price jumped to almost 180,000. And since we realized that it wasn't discontinued, the price dropped down only to 160,000. That is still insane. Now, imagine what happened when they're going to announce the discontinue of the normal Panda Daytona. That's going to jump to 50, 60,000. Now, I'm going to tell you what. They're going to discontinue. It's not going to be discontinued forever. They're going to release a new Panda dial. Maybe it's going to be a new Daytona Panda, maybe with the crown in the middle. I don't see really a major, it's going to be different. No, it's going to be a small change. And the price is going to start, they're going to see the market. They're selling the Panda for 70, 80 grand. Yeah, why we sell it for 13? Let's sell it for 20, maybe 25. You're going to see increases of prices. Look, all are not stupid. They see what's going on in the gray market. They see, for example, we all say, Submarina is 10 grand, but you cannot get it less than 20 grand. Why not sell it for 15?
Your 60 seconds is up. All right.
Why not sell it for 15?
You make a good point, but I just want to interject here. Okay, so you talk about Patek, and the thing about Patek is it's not really equivalent because Patek's not a charity. I don't think, any other company would just jack up their prices. Rolex can't do that. They got to.
There's a limitation because
of something. I think so. There's a limit, and so they can increase. They just can't.
But they're increasing
I don't know why they can't. I don't know why they can't.
I think 5 or 7%
exactly. But I mean, I'm making some assumptions here, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. And as far as what he said, by that logic, and it's kind of good logic, then we all should buy a Daytona today, a white dial Daytona. I mean, I should go and I should buy one, for $30,000 and take it home, and my wife, Freudian slip there. Okay, my wife would be very damn happy about it because it's going to be money in the bank in the future. But see, here's the thing: we know that not, and Rolex, we know that they can screw with you, and I point to the 2021 Explorer too. And what they might do, let me finish this, because what they might do is they could release like a different Panda. Like, and when I say different Panda, I mean a Panda. The Daytona is not a Panda; it's a white dial with the blackish kind of things. I'm talking about something that was like, reminiscent of what Paul Newman had. They could release that. All of a sudden, that the Panda before is going to, I don't know if it would tank in price. Now, what they could do is they could even release that for a couple of years, change it again. And then you've got a long 10 years of what we know is the Panda today. And then you've got a 2-year little gap. And then you've got a little bit of a change. And then that 2-year gap would be insane. And the new one would probably go insane, but then the one before that, the 10-year one would falter. Now again, it really depends. It's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like Bitcoin in the sense that, let me just say this one thing. It's like Bitcoin in the sense that back in the day, I remember Bitcoin was like $3,000, right? I know, yeah, okay. But it's like, if you bought it at, okay, how do I articulate this? If you bought it at $3,000, right? No, if you bought it at 10 grand, okay. You remember when it went up and then it went down? Okay, you bought it
in 2017.
right? Exactly. It went up to 10 grand. You bought it. It kept going up and then it crashed down to 3. Okay. Well, if you held on to it long enough, then obviously, it has gone up enough that I don't think it will ever go down to $3,000 or $10,000. Okay, I mean, are we in agreement there? I don't think it will ever, unless something really crazy happens.
Look, Austin,
and so I think the original Daytona. So put it this way: if the original when I say original, I mean the ceramic Panda right now. If things were to change next year, bad for you if you bought at this time. But if you bought, the earlier you bought, the better. So you just want to kind of get in on the ground floor.
Go back to the Zenith movement. That one's is wild now. You could get the Zenith movement 5 years ago for, I think, under even for discount, I think. That's the secondary market.
Also, the Rainbow was, I mean, it's a lot of money, but it was right below $100,000. But then they said they were going to discontinue it.
In the secondary
now it's like $300,000.
You don't have your thing.
Yeah, because I was hearing you double. That's
okay, sorry. But...
Right, I could get the Zenith Daytona 7 years ago.
We'll come back.
Think about it.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, but the Zenith Daytona is different.
Yeah,
that's different because that's just Yeah. Oh shit! Low power mode. Oh my god, that's crazy, guys. Because the whole point of this was that I was going to do another one. Okay, so here's the way we're going to do it. We're going to end the show now. I'm going to get a watch, and I'm going to come back, and we're gonna run this phone into the ground. We got 20% more. Hey,
but
cheers.
You know what? I want to tell all you guys. You know, the boys have a lot of how we say historical and legendary models. How we mentioned, the Melgaus, and we mentioned the Deja.
Include that in the third video. I got in it.
Okay, sure.
All right, guys. Take care. I will see you guys in about maybe 20 or 30 minutes or something, and this thing will be gone. I didn't cry enough about it. And then I'm picking up the Iconaut. All right, guys. See you soon.
I'm gonna hang around. I'll see you then.